As many hockey fans count down to the restart of the NHL season for a once-in-a-lifetime tournament that will involve 24 teams, all Ducks fans, including myself, is counting down to October 9th and 10th of this year. This year, of course, is the 2020 NHL draft. Now, the draft, which would have been held on June in Montreal, was canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. As like myself, I was very concerned and disappointed of how they would fit the NHL draft into the scheduling, considering the fact that most of the world is either in lockdown or have been shutting down and doing so-called social distancing to help mitigate this COVID-19 pandemic. Now, since the draft will be held virtually, I would not be very surprised. The main thing, as we count each day down to do the NHL draft, which would be held on the month of October on the 9th and 10th. Originally, it would have been traditionally the start of the Anaheim Ducks 28th season and the NHL season, along with hockey season, considering that fall would be the start of the Stanley Cup quest for many teams, including our Anaheim Ducks. As many of you know, our Ducks have some needs and some choices to make in regards to how to address these needs. And the needs is, one, the lack of scoring, and two, defensive depth on the right hand of the defense corps. We have a lot of left-hand defensemen, and a lot of right-hand defensemen is becoming less and less, considering the fact the Ducks have Josh Manson and Yenny. I think Yenny Hackapa is a right-hander. Yeah, I believe he is a right-hand defenseman. I gotta check it up. I've been working and doing some poetry for the past few days and keeping myself busy, awaiting the start of hockey. In regards to who the Ducks will pick, we know, of course, the Ducks have the 6th selection in this year's draft and the 31st selection in this year's draft. Now, 2 first-round picks, I'm sure, will address the needs on the right-hand defense and on the scoring. Now, let's talk about the 6th overall pick and who the Ducks should pick to address the weak points of our team. The last time the Ducks have picked a 6th overall pick was a defenseman, of course, Hampus Lindholm. Lindholm turned out very well, a fan favorite, a regular, often nicknamed the Hammer by some local Ducks fans that I know, and on the Ducks message board. If looking at the list of talented young players that would fall into the Ducks' position, it will be left to a crossroads decision that will be based on who would be the best deal. Would the Ducks pick a defenseman, or would they go with a scoring forward? I mean, the likelihood is that the Ducks will pick a right-hand defense named Jamie Drysdale, who is a talented blue liner on the Erie Otters. I've heard a lot of good things about him, and he could fit very well into the Ducks defensive core if our team drafted him on the blue line, because the Ducks need to fill out some of the right-hand defensemen, because you got Josh Manson, Yanni Hackapa, and a few other players waiting in the wings. So, hey, another defensive man on the right hand shot, hey, good on the power play, I'll go with me. If the Ducks choose to have a scoring forward, they could go with a Marco Rossi from the Ottawa 67s. Now, take it from me, talking to a family member who lives in Ottawa. The guy has some speed. He has a nose to net, and watching some highlights, I think he could also fit well into the Ducks system of hockey if they choose to pick him at the 6th overall. Another, I think this would be a third option. This would be my option at the point. Would be the Ducks could look at on the European skaters list. I would love the Ducks to choose a Finn, a two-way forward, a centerman named Anton Lundell from IFK Helsinki. Now, this player, if you look at his highlights, is a very good player. Has a good nose to net, and reading a lot of comments, has a lot of upside as well. Now, those three players, even though that they are talented, we know that they have some weaknesses and some weak points they need to focus on. And these three players are candidates, I believe, that the Ducks can select at the 6th overall in this year's draft on October 9th and 10th. And whoever the Ducks pick, I'm sure that we will be happy with the pick, because in the top 10 are usually the most talented players, and usually they are. Because in this year's draft, that should have been held in June, the Ducks are in a rebuild, a restore, and a rejuvenation mode that I believe that I'm very confident and hopeful that they can win another Stanley Cup by rebuilding this team and injecting it with youth and talent. We could see a very dangerous team in years to come. So, as we look at the countdown, as we're counting down, as most of us, well, myself, we'll be watching the one-time only tournament, and it is a tournament in my opinion, because there's no, well, like, how can it be a playoff system if you have 24 teams and you're playing in 2 cities? So, it's a tournament, and that's all I have to say for now. But so all we have to do is wait. We have to play the wait and see, and hopefully by October we will know who the Ducks will select on the 6th place overall and the 31st place overall. Till then, I'll see you guys soon. Talk to you guys later.